I'm Ted Koppel. Tonight on Nightline, they're drugs that can restore your energy, your vigor, your youth, if they don't kill you first. Science and the search for the fountain of youth. Tonight. Now stay tuned for the news.
Next on Night Watch.
A Rottweiler proves too strong for its chain, breaks away and terrorizes a child in Cumberland County. We'll have a live report.
Passengers aboard a U.S. Air jet that lost a wheel as it was leaving Raleigh-Durham International talk about that tense flight.
And our Bill Ray will talk about it feeling like spring right through the weekend. Night Watch is next.
The American Broadcasting Company, ABC.
If you're like me, every now and then you get a big craving for shrimp. Then you're ready for Shoney's Big Old Shrimp Fest. 6 classic American shrimp dishes starting at just $5.99. Fried, grilled, stir-fried, prepared fresh, made just the way you like it. Get a taste of everything in Shoney's combination platter. Shoney's Big Old Shrimp Fest. Small price to pay for such a big taste.
You're watching the News Channel, WTVD, News Channel 11. Now, the team with experience. Larry Stogner, Miriam Thomas, meteorologist Bill Ray with the AccuWeather forecast, and Drew Smith on sports. This is News Channel 11, Night Watch.
Good evening, everyone. Police in Chapel Hill are having a big problem with underage drinkers tonight.
And they're not just the kids who live in that college town. They come in from all over the Triangle to get in on the party scene because Franklin Street is, after all, one of the most popular hangouts in the Triangle among college students. News Channel 11's Anthony Wilson is out there tonight. What's the story, Anthony?
Miriam, right over my shoulder, you can probably see a scene that the city leaders here would like to promote. That's people sitting around having snacks and drinking coffee. But unfortunately, that's not what this town is known for among many people, especially young people. They know about it for drinking. And as you say, underage people try to sneak into bars and get drunk. And unfortunately, they are finding out the hard way because of an undercover operation tonight that what they think is just harmless fun, other people think is a threat to public safety. Scott Bain's Chapel Hill Bar is one of many in this town, popular with college students.
You have people from state coming over here all the time. We have people from Greenville. This is just kind of because it's such a high-profile college community.
But a recent incident at another bar involving an underage Duke student has many people here concerned about Chapel Hill's image as a partying town.
What other people don't see is them laying on the ground with broken limbs, bleeding, victims of assaults, victims of fights. You don't see their parents the next day when they're at the police department.
The Duke student reportedly came to town on a bus chartered by that school. The Chapel Hill police chief is talking informally with Duke officials about ways to keep underage day trippers out of bars here. He declined an on-camera interview, but ALE agent John Simmons says he'll be
attending a forum of some type with representatives of Duke in an attempt to address this situation.
Meanwhile, Chapel Hill will still draw thirsty students from across the heart of Carolina, because elsewhere there are
not really many that cater to the students. So they end up coming here whether they're bused or whether they drive, they're going to come here anyway.
We were told tonight by a Duke official that they've been renting or actually allowing the students to charter buses for about 10 years, and that the officials at Duke hope the students will act with some discretion when they're off campus, but of course they can't guarantee somebody's good behavior. Meanwhile, as I said before, there are undercover agents in bars here tonight, and they are looking for those underage students. They will be in trouble if they are caught, and they do say they do intend to catch some students this evening, folks.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. Well, now, more details on tonight's big story. Chapel Hill police say about a dozen alcohol-related citations were handed out last week, and about half of those were written to underage drinkers.
Officials with the National Transportation Safety Board have descended on Charlotte tonight to figure out what caused a wheel to fall off a U.S. Air jet. As we first showed you this morning, U.S. Air Flight 1543 was on its way to Charlotte Douglas International when the incident happened. The wheel dropped off the Fokker 100 just minutes after takeoff from Raleigh-Durham International. The jet landed safely in Charlotte with 66 people on board. News Channel 11's George Mellet spent the day in the Queen City talking with passengers.
When you fly across the state in a plane with a missing wheel, you start to think. After U.S. Air Flight 1543 made a perfect landing despite a missing wheel, the passengers who stepped off the plane admitted they had faced their own mortality. Rick and Debbie Serwick are celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary.
Deb and I have always felt we've really had a good life, and if it ends, it ends. But I don't think we've ever had any regrets. We've had super 25 years, that's for sure, and we've had a good life.
I'm not afraid to die, so maybe that was part of an issue, but we have felt in so many aspects of our lives that we've had such a wonderful life, we haven't been cheated.
Greg Kirkpatrick was glad to have Flight 1543 behind him.
A wheel flew off the plane, and, you know, who knows why that happened. I'd like to know why that happened, but other than that, I mean, they did a good job of sort of keeping us calm and telling us what to expect, and they handled it well. It was better than usual to be on the ground.
But Kirkpatrick still had a flight to look forward to, aboard what he called a puddle jumper to Augusta.
Greg Kirkpatrick's wife tells News Channel 11 her husband doesn't like to fly. And as for that wheel assembly that fell off of Flight 1543, it's on its way to Pittsburgh, where U.S. Air keeps its entire fleet of F-100s. That's the story from Charlotte. George Mallet, News Channel 11.
It was a trouble flight for passengers aboard a Continental jet today in the Triad. The jet experienced hydraulic problems as it approached Piedmont Triad International Airport near Greensboro. The aircraft landed safely. More flights will be leaving Raleigh-Durham International Airport soon. That's because Midway Connection, the commuter partner of Durham-based Midway Airlines, will double its flights out of RDU in May. And the Triangle Business Journal will report in tomorrow's edition that RDU plans to step up efforts to bring Southwest Airlines to the area.
An ugly incident at UNC Chapel Hill has forced a slight change in a Black History Month exhibit. Overnight, vandals apparently defaced the exhibit inside the UNC Law School. They wrote the word racist beneath one of those portraits of heroic black women. The vandalized work was replaced earlier today. UNC Law School Dean Judith Wegner sent a letter to all students today saying that she is, quote, deeply concerned and heartsick about such conduct within this community. Dean Wegner also says she will refer the matter to the Student Attorney General for possible consideration of possible honor code violations. African-American lawyers gathered today for a seminar at North Carolina Central University. The panel discussion was sponsored by the School of Law at NCCU. Among the panelists tonight, Durham attorney Larry Hall, Kay Webb, who is general counsel for the university, and State Supreme Court Justice Henry Fry.
Some future lawyers spent the day in court in Durham today. All the day's court proceedings were handled by teens. They try their own cases and serve as their own attorneys. The only adult present is the judge. Some of the participants have already been through the juvenile court system, and this is considered community service. Others who filled the courtroom were students who wanted to learn more about the legal system. A convicted felon out on parole is back behind bars in Durham tonight, charged with armed robbery. Durham police arrested 34-year-old Roger Eugene Anderson in connection with robbing a branch of CCB on the corner of Broad and West Club yesterday. Anderson faces 5 additional charges, including possession of stolen goods. The guns used in the holdup was stolen. He's being held under a $100,000 bond. In less than a week, another dog has attacked a child, this time in Cumberland County. News Channel 11's Gilbert Bays tells us some quick thinking by the child's babysitter may have stopped her from getting seriously hurt.
10-year-old Consuelo Lomelli is a lucky little girl. Dallas, the family's pet Rottweiler, broke loose this afternoon from his backyard tree. This chain was no match for the 85-pound dog. The babysitter came to the rescue.
I went and found him some food, and I threw the full food bowl at him, and he started eating. And when he started eating, I told her to run.
Consuelo was bitten several times, her wounds not serious, but the child was scared out of her wits.
Me and Chris was outside playing. He broke loose and came running for me.
He had you by the head, too?
Yes.
What were you thinking when that was going on, huh?
Scream!
They called me at work and said the dog had the baby. Well, one of my babies. It was a long ride down Cumberland Road now.
Davis says the children and the dogs play in the yard together all the time, but this was the first and last time Dallas would have to attack. She says the dog has got to go.
The dog conducted an unprovoked attack. The kids were just playing. He broke loose and just went after one of them. When a dog does something like that, that's not good at all.
Well, what is good is the fact that I'm here at our news bureau bringing you this report. If that 85-pound dog would have gotten hold of that 2-year-old, I'd probably be in front of one of the hospitals here in Fayetteville reporting on that child's condition. As you saw, Consuelo is going to be fine. And the dog, and Larry, I'm sure you've heard this phrase here for the past several days, dog is in the pound right now. It's going to be held for the next 10 days. And if the owner doesn't come to get it, that dog will be destroyed. Larry?
All right. Thank you so much. Good ending to that one. Thanks, Gilbert Bay.
A Cumberland County teenager, the third kid arrested in this case, is now facing charges of vandalizing a school bus. 18-year-old Dion Crosby is accused of multiple counts of burning one Cumberland County bus and painting swastikas on another. 2 18-year-olds face those same charges in this incident. Damage to the buses totaled more than $40,000. More evidence in audio tapes for the jury in the Daniel Green murder trial today. They heard Green responding to police questioning just hours after he was arrested in the murder of James Jordan. Detectives made the tape during their interrogation. In it, Green is heard changing key points in his story several times.
A change of command ceremony is set for tomorrow morning at Fort Bragg. Lieutenant General Henry Shelton will relinquish command of the 18th Airborne Corps and Fort Bragg to Major General John Keane. Shelton will serve as the Commander-in-Chief of Special Operations Command at MacDill Air Force Base, Florida. Keane comes to Fort Bragg from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Violence has become almost commonplace in the entertainment industry these days.
But has Hollywood gone too far? We'll examine that in a special report next.
And we're going to have some fog once again overnight. Hi, meteorologist Bill Ray, but don't worry about that. Get ready for a great weekend forecast. We'll have the 5-day and much, much more coming up in weather.
In the Southwest, unseasonably hot temperatures add fuel to the fires in the Lone Star State. More on that when we cover the nation.
Closed captioning of WTVD News Channel 11 is brought to you by Chevrolet.
35% of people prefer vanilla ice cream. 66% are in favor of a 4-day work week. 38% of people enjoy reading. Statistics prove people don't always like the same things. But consider this. 98% of GeoPrism owners would recommend Prism to a friend. So get to know GeoPrism. Statistically speaking, you're bound to love it.
She's got her mother's eyes, her father's nose, and her very own lines on your tax return.
Changes in your life mean changes in your taxes. So come to H&R Block, because it's your money.
It's a fabulous neighborhood. Down the street is the school, and around the block is H&R Block.
Sold. Changes in your life mean changes in your taxes. So come to H&R Block, because it's your money.
It's just a little wire that plugs into the wall. But it also plugs you into the world. A world where complex technology turns into simple tools that help you do more than you ever imagined. And the best part is, you are connected right now. It's your wire. It's your world. And we're your communications company. Sprint Carolina Telephone, Sprint Suntel. Wired to the future.
Hi, I'm George Zimmer. The Men's Warehouse keeps growing because people like our everyday low prices on designer clothing and our outstanding customer service. I guarantee it.
Visit the newest Men's Warehouse store in Raleigh at Falls of the News and Spring Forest Road.
Hollywood and the entertainment industry on the whole have seen their share of controversy lately. Critics complain the industry has taken its portrayals of sex and violence to the extreme.
Lawmakers are working on ways to regulate what we see. ABC's Lisa Salters begins the first of a 3-part series called That's Entertainment by talking to politicians and entertainers. We have to warn you, some of these pictures may be a bit graphic.
Whether it's futuristic crime-fighting cops or super spies on a mission to save the planet or gun-toting gangster rappers, there's certainly no shortage of death and destruction coming out of Hollywood. Now the industry is coming under fire. Leading the assault is presidential hopeful Bob Dole, who says Hollywood frequently crosses the line of decency.
You know what I mean. I mean natural-born killers, true romance, films that revel in the mindless violence and loveless sex.
Not to be outdone, President Clinton recently issued this challenge.
To the media, I say you should create movies and CDs and television shows you'd want your own children and grandchildren to enjoy.
What was already a hot-button issue got even hotter when a New York subway worker died of injuries suffered after two men ignited a flammable liquid inside his token booth. The incident was a real-life replay of a scene from the then recently released movie, The Money Train.
The American people have a right to voice their outrage, and they can do so not through calls for government censorship, but by derailing the money train at the box office.
The suspects denied ever seeing the money train. Nonetheless, the incident put those in the biz on the defensive.
As for Senator Dole and what he does, I wish I could find screenwriters who were as creative as his speechwriters in their rhetoric. I'd have 19 Academy Awards.
The money train incident certainly did not create this debate. It simply rekindled a flame that's been burning for decades. Does life imitate art, or does art imitate life? That question was most recently asked last month when a Detroit woman was arrested after setting her boyfriend's car on fire, duplicating a scene from the movie Waiting to Exhale. Last year, a Pennsylvania teenager was run over by a car and killed while allegedly reenacting a scene from the movie The Program. Shortly after the incident, Disney Touchstone Pictures edited out the controversial scene. MTV executives made a similar move when they removed references to fire setting from their popular cartoon show Beavis and Butthead, after a 5-year-old Ohio boy who often watched the cartoon burned down his home, killing his little sister. But who's to blame when fiction becomes a tragic fact? Those who create or the few who imitate? Critics want to hold Hollywood accountable, while many in Tinseltown say that's entertainment. Lisa Salters, ABC News, Hollywood.
In part 2 tomorrow, we'll hear from those in front of and behind the cameras to find out what they think about the industry coming under fire. Well, the Pentagon orders F-14 fighter jets out of the skies. We'll explain when we cover the nation.
It looked like a perfect launch for the space shuttle, but a problem surfaced seconds into this mission.
And spring starts to settle in. Bill Ray has an unbelievably warm forecast.
I'm Ted Koppel. Coming up on Nightline, they're drugs that can restore your energy, your vigor, your youth, if they don't kill you first. Tonight.
Plymouth's Clever Idea Department has been on a roll lately. The next challenge? Come up with clever ways to save. Now get a great lease on the redesigned Plymouth Voyager. Choose your savings on Plymouth Neon, or even get this tantalizing introductory price on the all-new Plymouth Breeze. Oh, and they even named the event. Aren't they clever?
Carolina Chrysler Plymouth, proud to be the official vehicles of the Carolina Panthers.
Critics are calling Before and After controversial, provocative, and riveting entertainment.
Jacob's innocent.
A probing and haunting drama that commands the question, what would you do?
There was blood in the car. It's been taken care of.
It's superb. 4 stars. You'll be pondering it long after you've left the theater.
What if you've destroyed evidence that would prove he's innocent?
Meryl Streep, Liam Neeson.
I just want my boy back.
Before and After, rated PG-13. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Be careful if you come into Best Buy now through Saturday. You might go a little overboard, because everything at Best Buy is on sale. Every product on every shelf in every aisle is on sale. And though you may go overboard, you won't go over budget, because everything's on sale. And you can make no payments and pay no interest for 6 months on everything. At Best Buy, it's easy to get carried away.
It's the great Percent event at your Carolina Ford dealer. And driving a Ford just got more affordable. Ford Credit has announced 4.8% financing on 11 popular Ford cars and trucks, like Ford Contour. Take the 4.8 financing or put the $600 cash back toward your down payment and lease it for only $229 a month. Or take off in a Ford Thunderbird with low 4.8 financing or $600 cash back. There's more to afford during the great Percent event at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Well, it's nice here, but they're wearing cut-off jeans and T-shirts deep in the heart of Texas tonight. They're having a heat wave down there.
Yeah, I mentioned that San Antonio hit 100 yesterday, today 93. I mean, that's incredible. 95 in Austin, 90 in Houston. And meanwhile, there's really no cold Arctic here anywhere in the 48 contiguous states. Even our friends up by International Falls, Minnesota today broke the freezing mark. Their high was 33. We'll show you our high in just a moment. 57 degrees, though, the current temperature. That's not bad. That's above our normal high for this time of year. The relative humidity is high. Winds are calm. We're going to get some more fog around in the area, just like we have the last several nights. 29.92 and steady for the barometer. Temperatures at 11 p.m., 60 in Wilson and Rocky Mount. It's 57 in Fayetteville, 59 in Sanford, 57 Raleigh and Durham. A little cooler Burlington and Henderson, 54. Roxborough, 53 degrees. And it'll probably bottom out around 50 in the Sandhills tonight with patchy areas of fog. Waking up to fog tomorrow, but with the help of a little bit of sunshine, you folks in the Sandhills will get close to that 70-degree mark. Here's how we did today. 45 and 66. Did have some of those rain showers this afternoon, but just a trace at the Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Normals for this time of year, see, we're only supposed to get up to 54. Record low 11 in 1968 and the record high 76 in 1948. And note the normal low, supposed to be above freezing. So with that in mind, we'll take a look at my weather book right now and talk about a sign of spring. Today is the first day this year that those normal daily low temperatures are warmer than freezing. They've been at or below freezing since December 14th. So that's one sure sign that maybe spring is coming. Another sure sign are warm temperatures. And as we take a look at the radar right now, we have had some rain. Most of that has moved away, but I am showing it to you because there are still a few sprinkles around South Hill and Virginia. So if you're watching us in southern Virginia, there could be a little shower overnight tonight, but the rest of the heart of Carolina will be on the dry side.